Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We got some more content for you guys regarding the World Cup, and this is for round one of the knockout stages. As you currently know, I had some trouble with the audio, and I had to scrap the whole video because of that. And we're just gonna go through briefly the first round because, to be honest with you guys, it wasn't really competitive for various different factors pertaining each race, but we'll still cover what we know about that race and why the score ended up that way. And for one race in particular this week, we'll give some more shine on because it deserves it because it was the only competitive race that week. And after this video, if you're watching this, most of the World Cup content will be out this following week because this was the only thing that was holding me back from releasing all the World Cup content because I wanted to keep it in order and I didn't want you guys to be jumping around looking for which week is which, and I just wanted to keep the continuity the way it was. So I apologize for that, and I apologize for my tardiness, but we are back. And of course, because we are back, we're back with our favorite co-host, obviously, Nano Blaster. What's up?
Yo, welcome back, man. I'm glad to be back with you, Mr. Sammy. It's these are always fun, man. It's unfortunate that the recap of this the round ones, the audio got messed up, so we got to revisit it. And I actually thought that was a really good recap. So
I do
it's
too.
unfortunate, but it's all good.
A lot of
Shit
hard work
happens.
went into that. I feel like it
Yep.
just went down the drain. But we're here now and we're back better than ever because we also got another co-host with us, Caleb.
But yeah, what's up? It's me, Caleb Black Flash. You know what I'm saying? Mr. I keep it real. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. I'm gonna keep it unfiltered, baby.
Yes,
So yeah, I'm
sir.
here. I'm here.
Don't worry, I'm gonna keep that in the video. I won't edit it out. But
Dang.
yeah,
I told
let's
you McDonald's Wi-Fi. I be trying to stream snipe people with terrible Wi-Fi. It's terrible. Anyways,
yeah, so let's get into this. So first race that we had was USA versus Belgium. Nano, Caleb, you guys would know better than me what happened in this race, so give us the feel.
we prepared. It was a good races. The highlight was Manji. I mean, we were okay. So Team USA was winning pretty much most of the races. But in those races, Manji was getting first. So most of the races. So it was Manji getting first on defender. And then me, Angel, would be like second and third and the rest of the team. So,
Oh
shout
yeah,
out to Manji. Manji
I
really
was at work during this race, right? I
well,
believe I was at work. That's what.
Nano.
That's a yeah. Okay, yeah, I wasn't there.
But Nano, he was like, man, I got trust in the team. I know you guys are going to be able to perform regardless if I'm there or not. So I was actually on Trickster this time. This was my first time on Trickster. And I was doing really good on Trickster. And it was some good races. Me and Angel were holding it down, but we had to fight through Manji. Manji was not making it easy on us. So, that really made me gain respect for Manji as a racer. I'm like, okay, Manji's actually good at this game. But we also got to give a shout out to Cam's Turbo. Cam's Turbo was in the pack holding it down, putting the brawlers on, representing, because I think this week maybe the brawlers they didn't have them fixed because the brawler side bash actually wasn't stunning people. So
Yep.
anybody on brawler had a hard time, and so Cam's Turbo actually was doing very well on brawlers. So Maji and Cam's Turbos, they were definitely fighting to stay in the elimination, but in the end, USA ended up coming up on top because consistency, as important as getting first is, if the other team gets second, third, and fourth and secures the other remaining positions, then they're gonna win the match.
Yes, sir.
So yeah,
I actually think yeah, I wasn't in this one, but I was confident in the team. I feel like our team, if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like our team just had too much talent on the team. Um, and this isn't no not to Belgium because I think Belgium is actually a really strong team. But I feel like Manji is definitely their superstar, so they would have they would definitely need more firepower to go against USA. But I won't lie, man. Manji was putting in work, bro. Manji was going crazy. Um, he was really holding it down for the squad, man. Because I definitely remember him getting first place a decent amount of times. So he definitely wasn't going out without a fight. And I know, Sammy, you know all good and well how strong Belgium is,
Oh,
man.
I know firsthand. Monty was giving us the work and Cam Turbos. And Cam Turbos is a young
Yeah.
prodigy.
Oh yeah, Cam
A lot of
Turbos
people
too,
don't
man.
know. He's like 12
Cam
years old.
Turbos. Yeah, Cam's really good, man.
That's the thing about gaming is anybody can be good at the game. It doesn't, it doesn't matter what gender you are, what age you are. You can be old, young. You know what I'm saying? Like, skill is skill. So we got to give a respect and a shout out to, skill, regardless of the age
Most
Yeah,
or
for
definitely.
whatever.
sure. Cam's is like they say he's like 12 years old. That's from what I heard. So for him to be, if that's true, for him to be that age and to be racing like that, kudos, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. He's if he keeps playing the game, I think he's gonna possibly end up being one of Speedstorm's
Best
top
players.
players, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
To
he
be
showed when
fair
he
to
showed
us,
out, man.
older people, the younger folks, all they got to do is come home from elementary school and then play the game. So they do have time to practice.
That's
They
true.
do
That's
have time to
true.
get on.
But I don't think there's 12-year-olds moving like that on Speedstorm. So
On Speedstorm, no. Maybe
yeah,
Mario Kart.
maybe Fortnite and shit. But you know, definitely gotta give the man the kudos, man. Cam's Turbos, Manji might have been their best player, but Cam's Turbos definitely made, you know, was a
Made an
great like
impact.
supporting role, man. Yeah, he made a big difference.
So I know, especially from when we raced Belgium, man, did he put on the show? Especially racing
Hell
against me
yeah,
for
man.
brawlers that week. I was impressed.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
So the final score for this one was 211 to 149 in favor of obviously Team USA. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, standout players from this race was, of course, Manji pulling it down from Team Belgium. And I believe Caleb and One Wing was going back and forth in this race for the top two spots on their respective team as well. So definitely got to give a shout out for them, as well as Cam Cerbos, because like we said, Youngin holding it down and really putting on a show, but it is a 4-man game, and the team is just more than two players. So ultimately, they couldn't um, close the gap in terms of their opponents for that week. But for the next race we had Europe versus France. So some knowledge that we picked up while doing interviews, because yes, as we said, guys, we're doing interviews with the teams from the World Cup. We do know, based off of information that Team Europe has told us, Sofralis, the captain, that the reason why this race ended up so lopsided was because France was missing a couple of their key racers. And if you've known anything so far from when we've been covering these recaps, guys, that whenever teams have missed a key player, they've always lost. You can go back and watch the tapes. The receipts are there in 4K. But what did you guys think about this race?
I think. All right, so I know Europe ended up getting like a commanding and clear like a large margin victory,
Yep.
but you know, unfortunately for France, they were missing. I don't exactly know who they were missing, but I know they were missing some of their key players. And when you're missing your strong players, especially at this point of the game, it's definitely not going to bode well. And with France being as strong as they are, you could say that, you know, we expect like a tighter fight,
Yep.
but it's only so much you could do because Europe is like a super stacked team, and if you don't have your top gunners, then it's not gonna bode well for you and the squad. So, unfortunately for France, it just they just got one of the short end of the stick, man. But I definitely I want to say, man, I still commend Europe because even though France were missing people, France is still a strong, well prepared, and put together squad.
Most definitely.
So that really shows how good uh so Thralis, Maxi, Ferrari, and Romanja, you know, it really shows how good their teamwork is because they put in work, man, and you could tell they definitely weren't playing around from this point forward. So Europe getting the overwhelming victory, but that's not any slight to France because France throughout this tournament they've been looked at as one of the better teams, and I still feel that way
I do as well.
regardless of what happened. Because they still put in work, even though they probably went out the a way they didn't want to. I still feel like they should hold their heads up high because they put in a lot of work in this tournament, and they still didn't give up, man. Cause they could have been down and out, not having their best players, and it could have really, you know, probably put them in some type of slump. But I still feel like they tried their best with what they had, which is still a great team. Um, but again, that just goes back to Europe and how strong of a team they are and how good of teamwork that they have together. And, they end up getting the dub, man. So that is my viewpoints on the match.
I will say, from what Soft Rallis has told us, that they were as a team, Europe, disappointed they never got to face France at their best because the entire time looking into the tournament, obviously they were busy with Group A, but they were when they had the time looking at Group B and seeing who were their potential, uh, I guess the potential matchups they'd love to face going further into the knockout stages. And France was one of the teams on top of their list from Group B. So for them, not having the chance to race against France at their best really did make them feel away. If I were to paraphrase what
Yeah,
Sarfrellis
it
had
did.
told us, so
Hmm.
unfortunate that we didn't get the race that they were looking forward to, and probably what the rest of us were looking forward to. But nonetheless, I'm gonna piggyback off of what Nano said. Uh, France was a strong team. I raced against them. I know this firsthand. And hey, man, France at their best could probably win anybody on a good day. So they're not to
Hmm.
be taken lightly at all because they did finish second in Group B. As much as everyone likes to say Group A was the deaf group and all that, there were still teams in Group B that were strong that could possibly contend with some of the stronger teams of Group A, such as France and
Hmm.
Brazil. As we saw, one of the competitive matches, we're going to talk about that team later on. But all in all, France had a good run, and it was tough to see them go out of the tournament the way they did.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. But it's all good, man. I think they will take this knowledge and probably take it over to what's coming next for competitive Speedstorm. So I think they'll be good, man. I think they'll be good. Europe out here on a roll, man. They taking names.
Final score for this one was 224 to 136 in favor of Europe. And leading into our next match, we had Benelux versus Canada. Very interesting race. didn't know what to think about Team Benelux. Only I saw them race throughout the group play, and they did look like a strong team because obviously they were undefeated in Group A. And going into this one, I will say, as a team, Canada was not prepared. I mean, it's a common theme here, but going into this race, I was already happy because, as you guys remember, I did say the goal for Canada was going to be at least to make it to the knockout stages. That's where I had us. I didn't know if we'd win the whole thing, but I said I'm gonna at least make it to the knockout stages because that's like the playoffs. And if I can make the playoffs, I'll be happy making the playoffs because my first tournament and we're making the playoffs, that's a good sign. So there's only room to improve when I enter the next tournament. So stay tuned for that one. And I had fun. We did lose, and a lot of that goes down to us not being prepared and not putting in the work to be prepared, which is unfortunate because, like I said previously, guys, I don't think we gave you our best showing this tournament. And I wanted to put on a show for you guys just because, as an audience, me talking the past couple of weeks about all these races and all the teams I wanted to face, I was really trying to put on a show for you guys as the audience for each week, letting you guys know, oh, Canada, we did well this week. Stay tuned for the next week because we're gonna have another opponent who's strong, and let's see how we match up against them. Obviously, I want you guys to tune in to the recaps to figure out how I fared because, like I've been saying from the beginning when this all started, I've never raced in any competitive tournaments in my life, so this was the first time, and I wanted to show you guys my skill on display. And I don't think I was able to really do that to the best of my ability, but
I still feel like you did good.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. And if anything, just look out for me in the next tournament because I definitely want to get my licks back then. But yeah, this race lopsided like the last one, but we did still put up a fight early on. But once you go down and you're not making enough points to kind of close the gap, it's really hard to come back in a race like that because the more races that press on, you're starting to really wonder, oh, okay, we're down. Are we going to get enough points to catch up? And as you get to halfway points in a race like that, in this setting, it's like if by halftime you're not like maybe 12 points, it's kind of hard to come back. I think by halftime we were down like 30, and the entire time we were trying to make up points, but 30 is a big score to make up against a strong team. Like I said, guys, these guys were undefeated in their group play. This is the team that beat USA, Nano's team. So if we wanted to win this race, we would have to pretty much win every other race in this series to have a chance of beating this team. And
And they also
unfortunately,
beat Europe too.
yeah, they did. They did beat Europe.
Hmm.
So it's no knock on us. The only knock that we do have as a team is not taking the time to prepare and practice. And that's the only thing I can give you guys about that.
Okay, okay. But yeah, man. My thoughts on the match. Yeah, based off what you were saying, to piggyback off of you, Sammy, is I know your team wasn't really as prepared as you'd like. In my personal opinion, I feel like for a team like Benelux, you kind of have to like prepare, especially in like an environment like the World Cup. You know, the pressure is pretty heavy, so Benelux being one of the stronger teams of the World Cup, your team definitely wants to be as prepared as they can be because if you don't have any type of preparation, like if you just show up to the match on game day and expect to win, I'm not gonna lie, man, you're probably kidding yourself. Like this isn't like a normal team. You could just like not do anything versus not have any type of real game plan. It's like Benelux is a scary team with players like Hoodie, Nell, Cedric, Doobie, and KG May. You got to take them boys serious. So,
Yep.
Also, what people have to consider is this team ended up beating Team Europe, I believe.
mhm,
And
yep.
the week that they actually beat Team Europe, I remember Saltarella said that they didn't practice that week. And Team Europe didn't practice and they ended up losing to Benelux. So it just shows even the best players or the best team, even when they didn't practice, they lost. So it just shows even the best players got to practice when you're going against competition of equal skill.
Shit, man. Practice don't make perfect, man. I know that's the saying, but it'll get you closer to that than anything else. So, you know, this seems to be it's the practice thing seems to be like a really hot topic for the World Cup, man. It seems to be a something pretty common. Like teams that don't really take practice as seriously, they usually fall to the wayside
Yep.
or
or lose
kind of get caught with their pants
or
down.
lose that week. I think
Yep.
even yo, what's good, beefy heads? I think even what's it called? What was it? The week that Hoodie didn't practice or something like that, and he had a bad week, or we beat him, or
Yeah.
what happened?
Nah, that was the week UK almost beat them, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So as good as Hoodie is, he didn't practice, and the UK almost beat him. So it just shows like even the top players need it. Don't think you too
Hmm.
good. You too good for practice.
Yep.
Most
So
definitely. So the final score for
Hmm.
this one was 219-141 in favor of Benelux. So they were a team that got to move on to the next round, round two. And the final team that we know we've been holding it off for now, but the final team, we saved the best race for last, or the final teams, I should say, was Brazil versus Team North America. I do know in preparation for this race, I think it was like what, a half a day that KH Fan and Shenanigans was preparing for their team to go up against Brazil.
Hell yeah, they were trying to get that. They were trying to get information on us for, well, not us, but I mean, they were trying to get information um on Brazil. They spent a lot of time, man. Man, they were, and they were one of the teams that were looked down upon.
Yep.
Um, they kind of had a lot of
I'll
people
have to
kind
check them
of,
out.
yeah, a lot of people, didn't really give them their just dues, you know, and they really felt some type of way about that. So I believe from like after the first couple matches in the group stage, they took every match really seriously. Like they've been practicing hard, and I think their practice really, showed and paid dividends. But I will say though, Brazil is also a well practiced and prepared team too. And I
I know.
know
Mm-hmm.
with this being the first match in the knockout round, I know Wolf definitely has his team like probably running drills or something, man, getting prepped for this match because this was a serious match, man. Me knowing how Wolf is and just looking at how his team has performed, my like I'm not gonna lie, like anybody could have won this because
Yep.
Brazil got a squad because Wolf, Nunn, Rugal, and I forget who their last player was that was in that race. Was it Mateus? Was it him?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Okay, but I just know they actually Brazil actually has a pretty stacked squad too.
Brazil as a
So
country is a stacked squad. If you ever run into anyone in this game with BRZ in their tag, that's Brazil. That's a Brazilian player. So
mhm.
you'll run into a lot of Brazilian players in this game, and you'll know firsthand how strong this team is when they have an abundance of players that are pretty strong at this game, and their best players are playing in the World Cup.
Yep. No doubt, man. No doubt.
Caleb, what did you think about this race in particular?
Uh, let me see. You said what I think about the match?
Yeah,
Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil versus NA.
I think it was neck and neck.
yeah, it was. Came down to the wire.
I think the difference ended up being a performance by Toxic on Defender in one of the last races that kind of like edged them out. But I think I think Brazil was on point, but I think North America definitely showed heart and showed their practice paying off, and yeah, it ended up being good. Yeah, I think Brazil was probably one of the teams that looked very good in Class B, and they ended up, I think, being the strongest. I said Class B, the second division.
Yeah, we it's funny because they actually like we thought France was like
Yep.
the go-to team in Group B, but
Everybody
Brazil
thought
had
France
other.
was the go-to team.
Yeah, Brazil had other words, man. They said, "Nah, y'all not gonna leave
Forget
us out of
about
the
us.
race. We
Yeah.
feel like we're the best team in Group B." And my gosh, man, did it show in this match, man? Because
Yep.
throughout the whole match, you could really see like both teams like really trying. Like they're like the teamwork, the communication was on point from both sides. Like I'm not gonna lie, like they were going back and forth for a lot of these races, man. Like, and I believe I think for the first like from a decent amount of the races, NA actually was up, but then Brazil kind of started showing that resilience and perseverance they've been having throughout the World Cup, and you know it got kind of dicey for NA towards the end, man. Brazil out here trying to claim that W, man. Um, but yeah, I think NA swapping their defender to Toxic and letting KH take the speedster spot. I feel like it paid off like tenfold for this match because had Toxic not been on defenders, they
Mm.
probably would have lost because it went down to the last match. So
Yeah, it did. I
you
think it
know,
was a sweep that got them the win, right?
nah, it wasn't a sweep. So for the last race, Brazil had to sweep NA,
That's what it was.
or they had to stop somebody. I don't think they had a full sweep, but they had to have a race. They had to make sure NA didn't get any of the top 3 spots in order for
And
Brazil to get
they
the
almost swept and
W.
got it done because I think it was what they got second, third, fourth, and fifth. But because
Yep.
Toxic got first place, North America ended up winning.
Yep. Screw the pooch for him, man. Screw the pooch. Toxic out here showing why he's the most valuable player, man, and why NA are definitely not the same team they were in the beginning of the knockout rounds, man. So, unfortunately for Brazil, they ended up getting the short end of the stick that race, but they gave a valiant effort, man. I'm not gonna lie, that could have been that Brazil easily could have went on to face us in the knockout rounds for the round 2, but they
Boy, that would have been a match.
oh yeah, it definitely would. It would have.
I'd like to welcome in One Wing Angel as well. He's joining the party late. How you doing, sir?
All right, you have a good night.
What's going on, Mr. Angel?
Yo, 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 yo. I didn't even know we were doing this thing. I've been getting random phone call on Discord. I was like, wait, the crash out's calling me. What's going on? And then I joined his mid conversations. I'm like, oh man, what am I missing here? I'm slacking.
Nah, that's all good, man. I know you were streaming earlier, so
Yeah, I was.
It was a good stream.
Thank you, thank you, thank
man.
you. It was a lot of sweaty people on today.
Yeah, I was one of
That's
them.
man.
You came at the best time, I want to say, because everyone has shared their opinion. What did you take from NA versus Brazil in their matchup?
It was a close match. It was a really good match. I mean, they did their thing with the bands. They studied Brazil. They knew exactly what people to ban that was going to hurt them, and that's really all that. And then they played a really good game, and right down to the last game, Toxic took it, and that's all they needed.
Yeah, man. That's all she wrote, man. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, that was definitely Brazil's to lose, I want to say. But don't you guys want to say something else kind of might have contributed to that dub? You're preparing for one of your big races and you decide to let the world know what you're going to be doing in that race.
Oh, you talking about how Brazil streamed their practice session?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's a
That could have
no
played a
go,
part.
man.
The big
Yeah,
no-no.
that I'm pretty sure that helped with NA is studying a lot, man. Because and KH actually told me like a fun fact. Apparently, every team that streamed their practice session ended up losing the week that they streamed their practice session. So
That's a crazy stat to have.
it is, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah, you're showing everybody your weaknesses and your strengths.
So I don't think Brazil will be doing that for future tournaments. But I'm not gonna lie, they might just say fuck it and just be like, man, we're so confident in our team. We're gonna do it anyways, because
We're that
Wolf P
good.
be going hams with the streams. But hey, I'll say in all honesty, I say if they feel like they could do it, get away with it, and still
And
come out on
win,
top,
then that's
hey, all them, man, all them.
Oh
But
shoot, how did he grab me?
Brazil is a strong ass team, man.
Oh,
So
most definitely.
kudos to Brazil, man, because when they ended up losing, I know they like it was tough, man. I feel like they probably they planned on going far too, and they definitely could have.
Oh, for sure.
Especially with how strong their team is. So
yeah, I know Wolf. He wanted to go against us really bad, so I know he was probably disappointed that he wasn't able to do that.
for me, um I didn't mind who we went against. I'm biased towards NA because I wondered how the run back would be. But I wasn't, I didn't mind if we went against them. Went against Brazil.
I would have loved to go against you guys. Just because I kind of teased that before the World Cup even happened. Like when it actually started. We were doing, I think, the teams, we were doing the drafts and stuff like that. I was like, Nano, I think we're going to face each other. Like, we're going to face each other in the playoffs. And it was so close. Just needed one more win from either side.
Yeah. Precisely, man.
So the final score for this one, like we said, it was a nail biter. The most competitive match this week was 182 to 178 in favor of North America. And shout outs to, and the standout racer of this race was obviously Toxic. Like we said earlier, if he didn't stop uh, the sweep, they would have lost. So definitely got to give a shout out to him, and shout out to Team Brazil as a whole.
Most definitely.
They came and they knew the assignment. They just fell a little bit short. And when I mean a little bit short, I mean like, like I don't know what else you guys want them to do because they literally could have won this game. It could have went either way. So, it happens to everybody. Part of the reason could be because they were streaming while they were practicing, and could just be that NA was just a better team that week too, which I also believe. And a big what if, Brazil versus USA. We'll never know until the next World Cup, that is.
All right, we will see, man. We will see.
So yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in, showing us some support. I know we had you guys waiting for a while. My apologies. But after this, it should be no hiccups and straight back to the good time and good content. I'd like to
Yes,
thank
sir, man. We back, baby.
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank all of y'all for tuning in to this recap. And stay tuned for the other episodes because they're coming right after this. Have a good night because it's night for me. And I'll see you in the
Yes,
next
sir.
one.
Yes, sir. Later, y'all.
Previously on this weekly recap.
Okay, that Black Flash, Mr. Unfiltered. Let's just be honest.
Hey man, you
Let's just-
sounded
Yeah,
sounded
this dude's audio.
Yeah,
He
his
trying
audio.
to mess this video up too, man. Come on, Caleb. You sounded like a bot over there, man. We can't hear you, man.
Oh my gosh.
Man,
Caleb malfunctioning, guys.
I don't know what you did, but you got to fix that, man.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you
Okay,
now.
nah, that's way better, man.
Dang, okay.
Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.